Hey, Basic here. Today we're looking at a knife from Sennilox. This is one of those deals that looks to be too good to be true, so I had to buy one and see for myself. They advertise it as carbon fiber scales with a D2 blade for less than $30. Yeah, it doesn't seem possible to me either. But I can confirm this is real carbon fiber. When you get the light on it and you can see the sheen and how the material kind of looks like a hologram, that is real carbon fiber. If you look at the sides, you can even see these little lines. Those are the lamination of each of the carbon fiber layers. So yes, these scales are in fact real carbon fiber. Now the blade, they advertise the blade as D2. The action is quite snappy, as you can see. There's no marking on the blade for the actual material type. However, I've been using the knife for about a month, just mostly processing cardboard boxes, and the blade retention is surprisingly good. So even if it's not D2, it looks like they did a pretty good job with the heat treat. And you can see here, while normally I don't like these paper tests because honestly it doesn't really show you much, but if you've put the knife to work and then it still cuts paper, that is a good indication. So yes, it still cuts paper just fine, even after a moderate amount of use. Let's talk about the dimensions of this knife. The total length is right at 5.5 inches. So if you want a knife that's going to be easy to carry, maybe in an office, something that's not quite as intimidating as a larger full-size folder, compare that to maybe this Paramilitary 3. You know, pulling out this knife in the office is a bit much. You might turn some heads. Whereas pulling out this knife, no one's going to care. It's not very intimidating. It's much more office friendly, I would say. The blade length is about 2.25. So depending on what the restrictions are where you live, this will likely be totally fine. It is not spring loaded, but as I said, it does come out like a rocket with the double thumb stud here. Get this out of the way. So for either right or left-handed operation, it flicks out nicely. It is locked with a liner lock. Liner locks tend to favor right-handed people, but also it's not hard to do with the left hand either. The knife itself is extremely light. I guess it's given that it's carbon fiber handles. Let's see what this knife actually weighs. All right, this knife is 51 grams or 2.8 ounces. You can compare that to a full-size folder like the the Para 3, which is 3.5 ounces or 96 grams. 96 versus 51. So it's just over half the weight of a, I guess, normal or slightly larger folder. So it's very, very lightweight. It almost disappears into your pocket. And speaking of putting it in your pocket, I really like what they did with the clip here. The clip is actually recessed into the handle scales. There's a cutout, so it doesn't catch on your pocket. The only thing that pops out are these nice rounded over screws or bolts. As you can see, the clip is reversible from right to left, and they include this little plate that takes up the recessed piece so it stays nice and smooth even when there's no clip on the side. Obviously, if you switch the clip side, you switch this plate the opposite side, and it stays nice and smooth. What's also surprised me was, for sub $30, they included a little case here. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with this case. And this case is not carbon fiber. You can tell because the sheen, you can see the pattern, but there's no depth to the pattern. Whereas there's that kind of depth to the carbon fiber. Whereas this doesn't have that depth to it. That's how you can tell if it's fake or not. This is just vinyl or plastic. But it's a fairly decent little case they give you. There's a foam cutout for the knife itself and a little pouch here for, something. Not quite sure they included that, but it's a nice little touch. In any case, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.